Punk Revolution now. Today we're reviewing Otoboke Beaver. Otoboke Beaver. Otoboke Beaver. What the heck is an Otoboke Beaver? Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely one of the weirdest bands in town, around, from Japan, of course. Japan. Japan is epic. Japan is doing epic Japanese weird noise punk, as they always do. That's what I'm not being racist. They literally are just always pumping out really weird punk. And Otoboke Beaver is the latest round of that. But they're really talented. It's an all-woman band, 4 band members, all of them women. Their debut album, what was it called again? Itekoma Hits. That was a catchy, fun, really wild punk album. That was actually one of the first albums I actually reviewed. And I'm excited that they are back in town. I like to believe that Japan is my town because I love Japan. It's time to see what they're doing on their new album. Otoboke Beaver! What's it called? Super Champon? Champon is like a Japanese food dish. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Someone who's from Japan, please comment, tell me, is that how you pronounce it? Super Champon. Weird. Japanese. Let's take a look at the album cover. This is a pretty wild, colorful album artwork. I mean, it's the 4 bandmates squeezed together, making some cute, kind of funky little faces with some, like, splashes of paint around. It's very colorful, kind of charming. You wouldn't guess necessarily from this album cover alone that it's, like, a super badass, hardcore punk album, but it is. Very badass. Actually, I think that's one thing that stands out to me compared to the previous Itekoma Hits, their first album, which I reviewed in 2019, one of the first albums I ever reviewed on this channel, which I liked that a lot. This one, it's stepping up to hardcore. If you had fun on their debut album because you liked all the melodies and you liked all the catchy chaos, there's still going to be a lot of catchy chaos in this record, but they are stepping up the noisiness to the next level. We're going to hear some just absolutely insane thrashing drums at the speed of light. I mean, look at this cover again. Look at the cover. I don't want to just say it's like a hardcore heavy punk record because it's so much more than that, because like it's like, okay, well, I guess one thing that I have read, and I believe it's true, a major difference between punk that you find coming out of Japan compared to Western punk, like the Ramones or Sex Pistols, is that like in the United States and the UK, when you're listening to punk, there's like a lot of value within that punk music that comes in from the sloppiness. Like if you play a guitar solo, you want to play a little bit off time and play, you know, sloppy and just kind of fuck up, and that like messing up and you don't care, keep on going attitude is very punk. Like almost like if you play real perfectly on time, that's like not very punk according to like Western punk music. Now if you go over to Japanese punk, it's kind of weird because I feel like Japanese punk is a lot more noisy, a lot more chaotic oftentimes, but there's a very clear level of virtuoso that you frankly won't find in Western punk music, because frankly to be able to play as good as Otoboke Beaver requires a lot of practice, a lot of discipline, because they are playing like really complex stuff. I want to actually call this punk album getting a lot of like progressive rock, kind of like Zolo, sort of avant brutal prog influence, because it is so like, you'll hear the rhythms, it's like you know, like you'll have like it's like the whole band, it's like the bass might be going like almost like it's like a dance punk new wave thing, and then all the women in the band are all like chanting like it's like, holy shiz, how are you playing these insane riffs? Lots of experimentation in the guitar. I love sometimes you'll just hear the guitar go like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're playing like all this like kind of like fun, funky stuff. I wanted to like call it like progressive rock influence and new wave and dance punk and post-punk influence, but then it's like played really noisy and really fast, and everything is like really on time. If you're playing so noisy and so fast in American punk music, if things are getting this noisy and this fast, the vocalist is just gonna go blah, 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 blah. But Otoboke Beaver, they are like really getting into every single detail. Every little bass line has a crazy guitar riff that actually like melodically like fits. There's no like overt insane level of dissonance and just not playing the notes in a well organized, well constructed way. Everything is like fitting with like really funky, kind of interesting, intricate harmonies. And then on top of the cohesiveness in terms of them playing in the same key and playing, proper harmonies, you're also getting like four vocalists also singing. Like, they're like singing like melodies that are like real, like complicated, like boom, 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 boom. So the music nerd in me is like very satisfied because there is so much technical talent coming through here. There's like every single musician is just shredding. I'm like, what? There's only one guitar in this? This guitarist is like playing such insane, massive, noisy riffs that it sounds to me like there's gotta be two guitars. No, it's one guitarist who's just shredding, and the bassist is shredding, and the drummer is shredding, and the vocalists are all really filling up a lot of space. It's very creative. It's really a lot of fun once you get into those like little grooves and just kind of want to see where the album's gonna take you next. It has like a very garage punk kind of tone, super noisy. Actually reminds me of the Japanese noise punk band High Rise. Definitely getting into like the noise rock territory. Sometimes a guitar might just hop in on this album and just go just completely just layering this record with noise. But holy crap, once you like, if you can just kind of just open up and take a look past all that noise, you're gonna see this is all so intricately organized, nothing lazy about it. So, like, you could just tell they rehearsed over and over and over again, and this record's only 20 minutes, but there's enough content and enough creativity and enough riffs and enough transitions in every single freaking song. You can listen to this album many times and pick up new things over and over and over again. I'm not able to pick up the majority of the lyrics. It does get sometimes a little bit of English coming through, and that's very entertaining. I love the song Pardon, that's like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Something like that. Something like, it's catchy. It's like, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. It's funny that like the one lyric I'm able to understand from this whole album is I don't know what you mean because I don't know what they mean. I don't know if that was a funny choice or just a weird coincidence. But one thing's for sure is there's definitely like a Riot Girl energy coming through. Riot Girl being a movement within punk that is basically women coming into the genre of punk and post-hardcore and basically shredding some of the best punk you'll ever hear with very feminist messages. I don't know the lyrics. I'm gonna assume that the messages in this record are probably also feminist, just looking at the track list and the fact that it's a band of four women. I am not maternal. Leave me alone. No, stay with me. I checked your cell phone. Don't call me Mojo. Where did you buy such a nice watch you are wearing now? First class side guy. You're no hero. Shut up. Fuck you, man whore. I don't want to die alone. Do you want me to send a DM? I'm just reading the track list right now, and you can see a lot of these songs sound like it's a woman who's really frustrated with a douchebag man who's being a dumbass. Musically, that's what it kind of sounds like. I feel like I'm sitting on the couch at a party with four women, and I accidentally did mansplaining and said something sexist. And now I'm having four women play a 20-minute hardcore punk record yelling at me for being a douchebag. That's my experience listening to this record, and I actually recommend you try listening to this record with the same mindset. It adds something to it, I'll say that. That's the magic of Riot Girl, I guess. But one song that actually really sticks out to me, one of the songs I just read the title of, I Checked Your Cell Phone. I think that's a funny song. You can kind of picture someone in a relationship checking their partner's cell phone and then finding something they shouldn't and then freaking the fudge out. That song is mind-blowing because I never expected Otoboke Beaver to get that intense. Like, that song is just straight up like power violence, just incredible, just like the drums just and the guitar is just thrusting you with the hardcore punk noise punk, and then somehow the Otoboke Beaver, the vocalists are all like able to like kind of like do like these real quick like chants within that wall of noise that's actually melodic and catchy, and that kind of sums it up. You're throwing some of the most chaotic, crazy noise punk I've ever heard, but then slipping in like new wave dance punk little bass lines and little fun little catchy riffs with transitions that feel like it's almost like mathcore with like this weird progginess that feels like magma, brutal prog feel to it. Guitar tones that feel like High Rise / Sex Pistols / Dead Kennedys, just good old-fashioned punk and hardcore punk with lots of experimentation with four women who are posing like this on the album cover, giving you epic feminist rage, which I love. By the way, I'm a feminist. Can I just say this album is incredibly epic? I love this album. I love this album more than I like their previous one. And I really like the previous one. I feel like most people probably are going to prefer their previous one because their previous one was a little bit more accessible, a little less noisy hardcore, a little bit more melodic. This one is an album I would say is by punk nerds for punk nerds. If you're a punk nerd musician who appreciates weird, incredibly talented musicianship and just weird, unique records, and you love fast, hard punk, I think this record rocks. I don't think I've ever heard a record like this before. My only complaint about this record really would be I do feel like it is only 20 minutes long, but I feel like 15 minutes into it, like I feel like I've kind of got the idea. Like the last 5 minutes feel like already a lot of ideas I've already kind of heard in the first 15 minutes. Brief, short, explosive punk with lots of stops and goes and funky bass lines and screaming, and it's an amazing sound. I just feel like this record could have just trimmed a little bit out after 15 minutes. I'm like, wow. I don't know, it's like watching a super intense action film that like is epic as hell, but you need to catch a breather. Punk. So, cool stuff, Otoboke Beaver. I'm gonna give this an 8.8 out of 10. One of the best records of the year I've heard so far. Absolutely a phenomenal punk band. Oh my gosh, I would love to see this band live. The instrumental talent is off the charts. How are you playing these incredible, crazy riffs with so many intricate rhythms and then managing to sing on top of it? I don't know, but it's epic, and it's punk, and it's innovative, and it's an 8.8 out of 10.
Otoboke Beaver, let me be your boyfriend. I'll be a better boyfriend than the men who are making you so upset that you're writing songs about them and destroying their ass with the power of punk. Punk.
Otoboke Beaver is punk.
Punk revolution. You know what? I'm never listening to men in punk again. I'm only listening to Japanese women. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Punk revolution. Nah.